Han Solo knew that Kylo Ren could not do it himself, and actually, killed himself with the lightsaber. It's his last dying, act of charity, so to speak, for his son.
I don't know. I mean, and we could go into detail. It just after going off and making that speech, you'll say that you're not, this isn't you, Ben, and you'll come home to to me and your mother and everything. It feels really weird for him to go off and to take like a 180 and think, okay, I'm not getting through to him. If he's not going to allow him, me to take him home, then I'm going to help, end his suffering so that, he can, fully embrace the dark side. It does, that part, it didn't come across. And, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I've never taken a lightsaber to the gut, so maybe, there's more to it than that. I don't know.
There's so many different unique quotes in this trailer that really kind of speak out to me, and I tried to write down as many of them as I could. Other than the first one, though, I think you pretty much would feel the same way. The most important part of this trailer is Luke's reaction to Rey's power.
The power, yeah. There's a spot, and you saw a bit of a touch of it in the first trailer for the movie where Rey is kneeling on the ground and stones are falling around her. Well, this kind of extends that scene, and we see that the ground literally cracks behind her, and Luke's reaction to it, and it absolutely frightens him. And he says, I have some of these quotes myself, so let me see if I can quickly find it.
If you can't find it, I actually have that one written down as well.
Okay, he says, I've seen this raw strength only once before. And it says, and it didn't scare me enough then. It does now, and he actually walks away from her. Yeah. Now, of course, the thing about trailers is you never know exactly how much is in one part or another part. But it's been revealed, earlier by Daisy Ripley, who plays Rey, that this Luke Skywalker is not the man that she was hoping for.
They also did show
he appears to be kind of broken. There's actually a scene that they go off and they show in the movie where Luke is, robotic hand is coming out of some rubble, and the next part shows him kneeling next to R2D2 in front of a burning temple. And so it almost is like, going off and doing some flashbacks of stuff that has happened in the past.
Yeah, if you go back to The Force Awakens, that was actually in reference to when Kylo Ren attacked the Jedi Academy.
Yeah, and so, but to me, this feels really weird. Because, correct me if I'm wrong, I've watched Star Wars movies for the better part of over 30 years now. I don't recall Star Wars ever using a flashback in any of the movies.
No, and I kind of like the aspect of it, though. Like, if that is how they intended to be, or that's actually how they use it. Because it does show context of his fear, of why he actually has fear of this power. Because, in a way, it's identical to Kylo Ren's.
Well, that's just it. That's immediately what the reference was, that he did not fear the raw power that his own nephew had. And he recognizes that, she has that same sort of power, which which explains why she was able to best Kylo Ren in the Force Awakens. And I think, it's really interesting. There's a lot more stuff. What's something else you want to go off and kind of discuss about this trailer?
I think the other part would be the very emotional part that we kind of expected to come. We just don't know if it fully happened in the way that they're portraying it, and that is when Kylo Ren is in his brand new TIE fighter and shooting on a bunch of the ships, presumably with his mother on the bridge of one of them.
There's a trailer where there's a clip in it from the trailer where he is flying his personal starfighter, and all you see his face or her face, and you can see that he's becoming very, very emotional, and obviously Princess Leia or General Leia is looking very sad at the same time, and there's a line that's from there that says, "There's only one way to become what you were meant to be." And it feels like this is another. I mean, throughout the trailer, we're hearing a lot from Snoke.
There was actually parts before that.
Well, I'm skipping ahead to this part, Sunshine. Okay.
It says, "Let the past die. Kill it if you have to. It's the only way to become what you're meant to be."
Okay. So kill it if you have to. That when I listened to that part, I actually thought that that was Kylo Ren saying that part.
See, there's many different ones I've read, and they all presume that Kylo Ren said the whole part. But what if he didn't? What if there's actually a different, say, Force ghost that came back and that's just the background? It's not actually been said. It's just that is the background message.
Well, there's interesting theories just going around there. To me, it feels like much like in the first trailer we saw, Luke Skywalker speaking throughout the trailer. It really does feel like, and there's in many parts there's that one part when it says kill it if you have to. That to me sounded like it was Kylo Ren, but almost every other part that we were hearing, it sounds like that was Snoke speaking. Now, I could be wrong. I'm not going to go off and argue because you've clearly analyzed this trailer much more than I have. But I do think that it's almost meant to counteract the first trailer as, you're going from Luke over to Snoke in this trailer. And that to me, the part where Kylo Ren and Princess Leia, it actually made me tear up a little bit because it's definitely very emotional part. There was another part I found really interesting. I actually missed it the first time I watched the trailer, and when I rewatched it, I noticed it, and it's where he smashes the helmet that he wore in The Force Awakens.
Yes, and actually, if you saw the original trailers for The Last Jedi, they showed his broken helmet. Now we actually see why, and I think, and this is my own personal opinion or feeling on this, that this is kind of his way of revolting against Snoke. I think we're going to kind of see a change, so to speak.
I think there might be more to it than that, because part of the reason why he went off at least I believe so, was from what I know from the new Star Wars expanded universe, he went off and he and the Knights of Ren wore these helmets as a way to go off and to honor Darth Vader. And so when he smashes the helmet, to me, this almost feels like he no longer wants to embrace he's almost rebelling against the legacy of Darth Vader. To me, that's the way I kind of looked at it, is where he has worked so hard to become, Darth Vader, worthy of being called Darth Vader's grandson, in the first movie, and now that he's killed his own father, it almost feels like, he's starting to rebel against the darkness.
That's actually a really good theory. I kind of like it. We have to talk about the one quote that really, to me, just I don't understand why it was put in there, other than to maybe make people think. And that's when you see Luke on the ground, and this is not going to go the way you think.
And well, the assumption I have is that Kylo Ren and his troops are coming to get Luke on the planet that he is on. I'm just scrolling through because I actually have the name of the planet, because God forbid that I could actually remember the names of any of these new planets.
Yeah.
Akoto, I believe it's pronounced.
Yes.
And there's a big scene, and there's actually been like rumors of Luke just showing off just how powerful he really is with the Force and everything, and using Force lightning and using his own Force abilities to pull a ship out of the sky and smash it into the sea. I have no idea if any of this stuff is true or not, but it's clear that Kylo's coming to get Uncle Luke, and there's definitely scenes here.
Well, there's actually one scene I wanted to mention to you. I'm not sure if you noticed, but the lightsaber that Kylo Ren went to go pick up wasn't his.
See, I looked at that, and I was wondering, because I'm looking at the lightsaber, and you're right. I actually have an image of it, and it's not his lightsaber, but it's not his fault. It's not his grandfather's lightsaber, because there's actually an image of I see Rey holding Anakin Skywalker's lightsaber.
But
it is different.
Could it be Darth Vader's red lightsaber?
That's an interesting theory. It's a black handle, and I would have to go back and watch the original trilogy to see if that was true.
I've gone through countless. I've gone through countless of reviews, and no one has caught up on this little detail.
Maybe he's just went off and he has thrown away the lightsaber that he used in the last movie and is going for a more traditional lightsaber.
I think that's a big possibility. Like that, when I first looked, I had to look at that about 5 or so times before I realized that it is not his lightsaber. It is a completely more old-fashioned lightsaber. And I really do believe in the theory that this is actually his grandfather's red lightsaber, which is unique. I would have to go off and I have to go check that out. But I mean, nice thing about this article that the Verge.com went off and put is that it does have a lot of nice stills to go off and to kind of check out. Yes.
And so, I mean, I was, able to go off and take a look at this. And one of the things I want to talk about is there's a red room, and it's the same room that you see Kylo Ren picking up that black lightsaber.
Yes.
And maybe it's Snoke's lightsaber, but there's a scene later on in the trailer that shows Snoke torturing Rey. And if you take a look, the walls of that room are red.
There's also another detail in there that I don't think anyone really noticed. I'm not sure if you did. It took me a bit to notice. But how he was torturing Rey was with lightning.
And see, I'm just looking at the still, and I don't see any Force lightning. I'll have to go back and double check.
It could have been I mistook
trailer,
it.
But I thought he was just using the power of the dark side to torture her.
I definitely could have mistook it. I'll have to relook at it myself too. But if that is the case, that he is actually using Force lightning, would it not kind of boost the idea that Snoke is in fact Emperor Palpatine?
Well, I mean, he wasn't the only person, the only Sith Lord to use Force lightning. Now,
Mace Windu was another.
We don't know a lot